Hi, welcome to Flourishing Friday. I am Kimberly, and today I'm going to be talking about facing uncertainty and how I found strength in life's hardest transitions. And so, this is continuing my theme that I've been sharing all week, and I'm jumping right on in to just let you know that life is going to always hand us uncertainty. The truth be told, even when we plan something, we don't know how it's going to pan out fully, right? So even when we feel like things are certain, they may not be. However, there are those other moments where things really are shaking up, uncertain, and really, really scary. I've had a lot of these moments, like I said, when I was 14, a transitional moment was going to high school, but that same year, my adoptive mom died. And so that was one of the hardest transitions I had. Another transition that was really hard is when I left to go to college. And it was fun, it had its high points, but I had never been away from, my family. I had to just learn how to navigate it. And that's a common story, but everybody's story is just a little bit different. How the transition impacts you is different for everyone. When I went to military basic training, I had to push through it. I got held back twice. I had to really, really, really fight for it. That was a difficult transition. And when I lived alone, once I started my graduate degree, so I graduated undergrad, I was a couple of years late doing that. Graduated, moved out on my own, and then I had to learn how to navigate living alone, making decisions on my own, trusting myself, being gracious with myself when my decisions weren't the best, and just everything that comes with learning how to navigate that part of your life as an adult. And so I had to learn how to embrace peace, uh, create the space I wanted. You can grow up thinking, when I have my own place, it'll be this, it'll be that. And then when you get your own place, you now have the job to cultivate whatever the environment was that you said you wanted. And so that was a big shift for me, right? And so I had these experiences. I dealt with loneliness, I dealt with self-doubt, I dealt with making bad decisions, picking myself up from it. And I also learned lessons from each of these experiences. Speaking up for myself was a lesson that I had to learn. When you don't have anyone to speak up for you, you have to be your own voice. It could be something as simple as you get a bill in the mail and this isn't the correct amount you should be paying. You have to learn how to calmly call the bill collectors or whoever and explain, hey, I think this may be an erroneous or wrong charge, et cetera, et cetera. You have to learn how to do that. You have to learn how to not just roll over and take whatever someone dishes to you, but to stand up for yourself, right? You have to learn to buy groceries. You just have a whole host of things to learn, right? And I had to give myself grace while learning those things too. Because although you may have seen it modeled, it's different when you're the person that's in the driver's seat. You can be a passenger, but that's different from the responsibility of driving the car. And so you have to speak up. You have to make decisions and stick to those decisions. Even if the outcome feels uncertain, it's your decision. You have to own it, right? You have to learn how to embrace that solitude. And you may even have a roommate. Sometimes when you move out, you don't always move out alone. But even within having a roommate, there'll be moments where it's just you still, right? There's still things you need to deal with that only you can, look at, deal with, touch. And so you have to learn how to guard your emotional space, your physical space. You have to figure out what you need to thrive. Somebody may need a little bit more alone time than the next person. So I may just need 1 day a week to recharge. Someone else may need 3. And so you have to learn all of that. And usually you learn, unfortunately, through trial and error, right? And that's why I'm sharing so much, because when we're going through, we can feel like we're the only person that has experienced that. It can feel alone. It can feel daunting. It can feel like, you make a mistake. I'm the only person making this mistake. Your self-talk will become critical alone. If you're the only person experiencing it and you're not asking someone else about it because you're ashamed, your critical self-talk will become, that was crazy. You did this or you did that, or whatever your critical self-talk is. And it'll make you continue to spiral in the direction of isolating yourself. And that's the importance of me and other people sharing. You're not the first person to mess up. It's okay, right? Um, and so, something I wish I had done a lot differently through these different stages, I wish I would have known that I should embrace the moment, even when the moment was uncomfortable. And that's what I want you to practice. I wish I would have just taken the time to be in the moment instead of waiting and holding my breath until I got to what I felt like would be relief or the next moment, because the next moment brings its own uncertainties too, right? You never really fully arrive. And that's my point. Even when things are uncertain, embracing what you can, realizing what you need to be thankful for, or even saying out loud what is going well still, right? So maybe you messed up big time. Something is still going okay for you. Even if it's just you can think about the problem. Whatever it is, being in that moment and not being eager to just jump right out of it. And so yeah, I want you to start to learn that, right? Using healing practices, deep breathing, journaling. I talk about journaling all the time, right? Journaling is what helped me transition. It helped me hone my voice, my thoughts. I could write them out, I could clean them up. It just gave me a lot of what I needed while I was learning to grow and transition. And so that's why I'm a big advocate of journaling. But again, there's breathing, there's stretching, there's going for walks, there's all kind of other modalities that you can incorporate that helps you cope better. Um, so you have to definitely be willing to try these modalities, right? Embrace the discomfort and trust the process. I know people say trust the process a lot, but that's not a lie. You got to learn how to start trusting even the process of uncertainty, right? Which can be scary. I know we all like to feel like, oh, I'm in control, but in reality, even with a plan, you can plan a picnic, but not the weather, right? And so, just I want to encourage you, if you're going through a transition, which we usually all are, and it doesn't have to be a huge transition. Often I think people feel like, well, things aren't going bad. It can be a good transition and still be stressful. I was excited to move from where I had been raised to a whole new state. It was still stressful. It still took a lot. It still required a lot of spin up, a lot of research, a lot of asking questions, a lot of uncertainty. Even though I wanted to move and I was excited, all of the things I've done, I wanted to do them, but they still brought uncertainty, anxiety, a little bit of struggle, little imposter syndrome. Should I be doing this? Even making this video, a lot of times I'm like, should I even talk about this? I still struggle with stuff, but hey, as I always tell you guys, as I tell myself, your struggle, whatever you've learned, even if it's one step ahead, you can share that with the next person so they can get further ahead. Keep sharing, right? Keep showing up. Keep embracing where you are, even if it's good, but you're struggling with the good, right? Sometimes you can get what you've always wanted, but it means you have to let this thing go, right? Yes, we moved. I've always wanted to live somewhere different. I had to let go of communities, of everybody, family, everything that I had already known. Like I had a trade off. And so I just want to encourage you to embrace that discomfort, trust the process, use tools like journaling and mindfulness, however that looks for you, to stay grounded, to stay calm as much as possible. And so you can grow through that uncertainty, right? You can find peace, right, in the solitude. You can find what you need, but you have to be the one to put it in place. So I want to encourage you with this journal prompt to write out for yourself, what is a time you faced uncertainty or a major life transition? And it can be good too, like not just a bad transition, but a good one. And what did you learn about yourself during that transition? How would you approach it now, knowing what you know now, which I think about a lot. And so definitely drop an emoji or a comment and share with me a story about transition. And I just want you to just continue pushing forward, holding your head up, and just knowing that you're going to get through whatever transition that it is. And so make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it if you know someone who is going through a transition and just needs a little moment of encouragement. And have a great weekend. I will see you next week on my videos.